Let me go, Inspector General, let me ask you along the similar line of thought. Did your office, Inspector General's office, find any sign whatsoever, any evidence of a plan by Postmaster General DeJoy to hinder vote by mail?
No, we did not.
All right. Did the Postal Service perform? Well, let me ask you this: did you look into how well they performed when it came to delivering election mail?
Yes, we've wrapped up that work. Our report has not yet been released, but generally we found that the Postal Service prioritized ballots effectively during the election.
Okay. Well, then let me go to the Postmaster General himself. How was the performance in delivering election mail?
Very proud of the performance of the 640,000 men and women of the Postal Service, and we did usual thing that we do every election, performed extraordinary measures. We delivered 99.7%. We have a report out that's on our website. 99.7% of ballots within 2 days. Some very, very extremely high numbers. I have it written down someplace here. But everything was in the 99%. Ballots to election, from voters to election boards were the 1.7 days, the average time, across 135 million ballots.
Well, and I know that's specific to election mail. We have issues with first class and other types of mail, but you can't improve a great deal on those kind of statistics when it comes to election mail. So let me come back to you again, Mr. Chairman Bloom. Just again, in your opinion, were the attacks last year against Postmaster General DeJoy warranted?
Congressman, I would say that they weren't. I will say, in my humble opinion, that the politicization of the Postal Service was a bipartisan affair. But on your question, I think those particular attacks were not fair.
Okay. Well, thank you for your honest answers. And quite frankly, it's with that spirit that I believe the potential of bipartisan solutions is within reach. We've got to get away from the attacks and allegations that are unfounded, and I'm pleased to hear that you, as a admitted Democrat, understand that the allegations against Mr. DeJoy were unwarranted, and I appreciate that. And so it's my hopes, Madam Chairwoman, that we will be able to proceed in getting some genuine solutions as we move forward here. And the allegations that came forth from many in this committee that he was attempting to alter, co-opt the elections, if those were true allegations, he miserably failed. There was a record-setting 135 million mail-in ballots with almost perfect delivery with those. And so I am hopeful that with this information cleared, we'll be able to move forward in a bipartisan manner. I thank the Madam Chair, and I yield back.
Thank you for your bipartisan comments. And now to the gentleman from Massachusetts, Mr. Lynch, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Let me follow up on the gentleman from Georgia's questions then to the two previous witnesses. Would you say with the let me quote the gentleman from Georgia, the almost perfect delivery of ballots in the previous election, given that fact, would you say that it was unconscionable that someone would dispute and vote to undo the results of that almost perfect delivery of ballots in the previous election? To either of the two previous witnesses. Let me just recount the facts. The gentleman from Georgia voted to undo the elections in 2 separate states. And so he has just spent about 5 minutes reminding us, in his own words, that the delivery of ballots was almost perfect by the United States Postal Service in that election that he voted to undo. So I'm asking you whether the evidence that you have supports that. Anytime now. Okay, reclaiming my time. I didn't think so. Postmaster General, I am indeed very happy to see you here today, and I'm very pleased that in your testimony you have agreed that the onerous burden on the post office to pre-fund their retiree benefits by 75 years in advance should be corrected, should be eliminated, and also that you support the integration of Medicare, which, depending on whose estimate, yours or Chairwoman Maloney's, it's going to save about $10 billion for the post office over the next 10 years. I'm